Get ready to enter the Thrive Time Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the C&Z up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get.
Arthur, I appreciate you being here. And we are here today to talk about daily operational excellence.
Yep.
And this is a huge thing that I have found. I know a lot of entrepreneurs that I meet, they are so excited to open up a business. They are pumped. They're like, man, I'm going to open this business. Well, then after about 365 days, 1 year of being in business, they're like, gosh, it's so hard running a business. And then people like you, how long have you been running Chick-fil-A?
25 years.
25 years you've been running this Chick-fil-A. And really the success is in those daily, diligent activities. It's the daily operational excellence that makes you guys great. So I'm going to start off by saying this here. We need to design the ideal reality if we're an entrepreneur who's going to be successful with operational excellence. We have to design the ideal reality. Now, when I ask 9 out of 10 business owners, what makes your company so great or unique? 9 out of 10 of them, almost every time, they say, well, we're professional. You know, we have good people. We do good quality. But yet, if I ask 9 out of 10 customers about any given business, they'd say, well, they're overall, they're pretty professional, but I'm not wowed. I'm not really impressed. So the business owners think they're awesome. Customers think it's just okay. So if you were asked to make a list of some of the best service providing companies in the world, what are some of the ones that come to your mind? You got what, Disney?
Yep.
You got, are you a big Apple guy? Do you like Apple?
I do, actually.
Okay. Does your wife go to Whole Foods? Are you into Whole Foods? Or
no. Do I look like I'm in Whole Foods?
You look sexy. Okay, when we ask people though in America, we say, what are the best companies? People always say what? Disney, JetBlue, Southwest, Zappos, Tesla Motors is starting to pop up a little bit, Apple. What's the difference, Arthur, on a daily basis between a great company and an okay company? What's the difference between Chick-fil-A and some other chicken brand?
That will remain nameless. It's all the details. When I talk to a lot of businesses, a lot of them will make comments about, you and I were talking earlier, the people. Yeah. And they can kind of focus on one thing. My product is good, or my people are good. Well, I think when you look at these companies, it's all of them. And I'll talk about Apple. I bought a computer. I went in. It was right at its warranty, and they said, you know what? It was you were technically like 2 weeks out of their warranty, and normally isn't that like Murphy's Law that happens? You're like, oh my gosh! And
warranty.
And they said, the guy looked at me and said, but your computer probably broke down 2 weeks ago, didn't it? And I was like, well, and I said, well, maybe. I don't know. I actually wasn't home. And he said, it probably did. We're going to go ahead and honor it under warranty. So, it was the company, it was the culture, it was the people. He stepped up and said he didn't have to do that. But after that, I was like, we're buying everything Apple.
Well, here's the deal. I was at a downtown networking meeting. And I met a lady who has she has some sort of deli. Okay, she has a deli, and I was at not Tulsa, so don't start guessing who it was. But it was a downtown deli, and this lady, she was like, the economy is so terrible. It's tough. I can't make a profit. The economy. I went there after speaking at this downtown area. I go to the deli to get some food. I thought I'll just go to her place. She came to the conference. I want to patronize her business.
Sure.
Has a sign. Closed,
yes.
Gone on meeting, or back in 20 minutes. And this is at lunch. And I'm thinking, gosh. So I talked to the lady. I said, hey, what? I talked to her. I saw her later at the conference. I said, hey, I went by your place. It was closed. She says, yeah, but I mean, we're one of the only downtown places that are open during that time, and I had to run by and do this. And I started realizing she was comparing herself with other downtown businesses that were also terrible. So why is it so important for the average entrepreneur to compare their business with great companies? And how do you do that?
Well, you have to do that because obviously the great companies are doing something right.
Yeah.
You know, but a lot of times we don't want to look in the mirror because, you know, it's our company. I mean, it's a reflection of us, no matter what you say. When people say Chick-fil-A in Tulsa, I want them to go, oh, you know Arthur?
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I want. And so it is a reflection of us, an absolute reflection of us. And I think a lot of times we don't want to face that.
I've noticed if you'll hang around with really top business owners, they'll hold you accountable. And I'll give you an example. I have a client I work with who's a fabulous friend of mine, and he actually was a mentor of mine. Now he's a client of mine. We kind of go back and forth, this mentor-client thing. He hires me, I hire him. But I noticed that he is impeccably organized. And I have just noticed that by being around him over the last 5-6 years, I find when I meet with him, I'm like, I want to be super organized in preparation to meet this guy. Mm-hmm. Then I start noticing that all the time, because he might be here all the time, I might want to be better organized. Then I start noticing I am becoming organized because I want to be more organized than that guy.
That's right.
And do you benchmark at all with other companies in Tulsa?
We do, and it's more of our, like for my management team, one of the things that we do is they're required to get out of the store at least once a month. You know, once a month, I want you to go to lunch somewhere else. Don't look for the ones that aren't doing as well, because I really don't care what they're doing.
Yeah.
Now, I say that, but sometimes if they do go there, I do joke and say a broken clock is right twice a day. So look for the things that we can bring back.
What are some places that you look at from a restaurant business or from a service industry and you say, that is a great operation, man, I aspire to be that good, or maybe we, are competitive with them?
Well, Quick Trip.
Okay, Quick Trip.
Quick Trip is one.
Quick Trip gas stations.
Yeah, they absolutely do a phenomenal job.
Okay.
They do a phenomenal job from the customer service side, from the cleanliness. The bathrooms are always clean. The restaurant is organized. You know, when you go to every Quick Trip, where you're going to find the can of green beans if they have them. And they do that very intentionally.
Now, in the book, The Service Profit Chain, this is a book written by some Harvard business professors. It was actually introduced to me by Chet Cadjo, who was I guess he's the president of Quick Trip now.
Correct.
And he said, you have to read this book. It's by a guy named James L. Heskett and W. Earl Sasser and Leonard Schlesinger, I believe. But he says here, being nice to people is just 20% of providing good customer service. The important part is designing systems that allow you to do the job right the first time. All the smiles in the world aren't going to help you if your product or service is not what the customer wants.
That's right.
So let's get into it here. He says systems. Now I hear this word a lot. I hear a lot of business owners saying, well, I'm building some systems right now. That's why we're just building some systems. When you say a system, let's get into the system. You have a system for cleaning a bathroom?
We do.
Okay, so let's just start up here and let's get into it. If you're building a checklist to clean the bathroom at Chick-fil-A, let's just say this is 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper.
Sure.
Do you chart over here the item that needs to be done? So you have the item that needs to be done and like when they did it, or how do you recommend I start building a system if I just want to keep the bathroom clean? Where do I start?
Well, I would start with what is your time frame that you're wanting to do this in?
Okay.
Are you trying to do this all day? Are you trying to do it just during the busy times? What does it look like to you?
Let's say I own an insurance business.
Okay.
What do you think I should do?
So you own an insurance business and you're having a problem with your bathroom.
Yeah.
And so you're probably going to be open 8 to 4.
Okay.
Okay. Now, for me, if I own an insurance business, my bathroom's probably not going to be super busy.
Okay.
Okay. So you might actually be able to inspect the bathroom a lot less than maybe I would at my restaurant.
Okay.
So, for me, I would say, let's inspect it once an hour.
Once an hour.
Okay.
So let's go ahead. So I'm going to say here 9 a.m. And just so we're getting this, and I know for somebody watching this, they might be going, this is tedious watching you write these things. Somebody else is going, this is eureka. But we as a team, we're saying here, we are standing together to fight against bad bathrooms and the recession that it's creating. Okay. So we got the once an hour.
Okay. So, and then what I would do is, first of all, on the left-hand side, I would make sure that's where you would get their initials. That's where they're saying, Clay, I got this done.
So real quick, I'm just going to say that in this case, the guy who does the work, his name is Doug.
Yep.
Okay. And Doug is a beautiful man. He's a great guy. He's a little more, has a little more weight on his bones than that, but that's Doug.
And his leg's attached.
Yeah, his leg is fully attached, and it's actually got shoes on too. Doug has some shoes on. Anyway, that's Doug, and he has elbows too. It's a lot of
This is drawing with clay 101.
Yeah, it's very, very complicated. So Doug over here, though, Doug cleans the bathroom every hour.
Right.
Now, do you have a detailed list of what to do in that bathroom?
Yeah. What we would do is we'd probably put another line right after the times.
Yep.
Because the times show kind of the times that we want it done at.
Yep.
And then what are the expectations? You may not need the same, like you may not need to wipe the walls down every hour of the day.
But you might put wipe down the wall.
So first thing in the day, he may want to wipe down the walls. Well, you know what? At that time, you may also want to cover some of the other things like the sinks, the toilet, the urinals, whatever it may be.
Sinks, and then you're going to make this list here of things, and you're expecting them to check it off, and then every hour you're going to come by as a manager and inspect this stuff.
No.
Nope.
The purpose of this list is so the manager is not having to go by and inspect them every hour.
So how often would the manager do it? Because over here, this right here is the mean, angry boss overlord right here, who has, he's got a lot going on here. He's a little more thick. He eats a little better than Doug over here, right? He's the boss. Now, when does the mean overlord boss come by and inspect this?
In a perfect scenario, it would be, let's say that I was a mean overlord boss.
Yeah.
So to me, I would train Doug to do it, and then make him have a discussion with him about his commitment to making sure this is done. And by doing this, I expect these things done, and him to put his initials on each hour. And at the end of the shift, I would possibly go and take a look at those things.
So maybe at 4 o'clock you would check.
Correct.
You come by here and you check to make sure that it's done right.
Correct.
Now, if the work is done poorly, okay, so let's just say over here that you had one day where the work was done bad, right?
Right.
And another day where the work was done good. Okay, and I'm dwelling on this because I see business owners. I talked to a business owner just last week who has they have a person working there who cannot seem to string together more than 2 consecutive days of keeping a bathroom clean.
Correct.
And this person's like, what do I say? I don't know what I would say to Doug. He's been with us for, because Doug is my friend. He's somebody's dad. Doug is a man. He's a man. I just would hate to be disrespectful to a man. He's a dad. He's a friend. His name starts with a D. There's so much. I just don't want to hurt Doug's feelings. If Doug does a bad job, what do you say to Doug?
Well, first of all, if he does a bad job, it's either they don't know or they don't care. So let's start with they don't know. If they don't know, then as a manager, my job is to make sure he knows. So I would go back and retrain him.
Okay, so let's just say that Doug, for some reason, does not, not that Doug would do this, okay? But let's say that Doug didn't clean the bathroom right. You come in here at 4 o'clock, you check on Doug, and you find out, no bueno, Doug, bad job. Right. What do you say to Doug?
Well, I'd go over what the expectations were. Doug, did you understand what we were trying to accomplish here? Yes, no. Well, a lot of times he would probably say, no, I didn't understand it. So at that point, we'd step back and say, let's make sure we've done our job and train him.
And the question you always ask, so you've said this to me before, and I want to make sure I write it down here, is what are the questions you ask? Did you not know, or did you?
Either didn't know or didn't care.
Okay, that's the option here. You didn't know, right? And it's K-N-O-W because we're on the planet Earth. Didn't know, right? Or you didn't care, correct?
Correct.
Okay, didn't know or didn't care.
Yes, and if they don't know, it's our job as leaders, as managers, to train them to make sure they do know.
Now, what if Doug did a good job?
Well, then if Doug did a good job, then, I'd love to say that we would constantly give him rewards, but the reality is the reward sometimes is just you get to keep your job.
Okay, so let me ask this. For every Doug you hire,
yeah,
how many Dougs do you need to fire to find one Doug who will do the job?
It depends on how good of hiring person you are.
For you particularly.
Yeah, for me with Chick-fil-A, we're very slow to hire and quick to fire.
Okay.
Not because we're trying to get rid of people, but because if they don't make the cut, there's no point in wasting their life because they can go somewhere else and be more happy in their job.
How many people do you have to interview to find one good Doug?
We probably interview probably 3 people, 3 or 4 people to get a good Doug.
3 to 4 produces 1 Doug.
Yeah.
And for every 1 Doug, how many of them stick with you and it's all said and done? Like they can cut the mustard. They can get the bathroom clean.
Our turnover rate's about 50%.
So about half of those people make it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a number of reasons. It doesn't have to be because they can't clean the bathroom. It could be they're allergic to chicken. It could be, there's a number of things that it could be. So it's not just about that.
Over the years, I have interviewed countless success stories and top-level entrepreneurs. And many have talked about designing an ideal experience or reality for the customer and scripting out the ideal customer service in terms of what the customer sees, hears, smells, is said to the customer. Can you kind of guide me through the Chick-fil-A experience there? And I want to go ahead and script it out on here.
Sure.
So let me see if I can find how to do this here. So at Chick-fil-A, and I'm just going to get into this real quick. At Chick-fil-A, we're going to get into the experience, okay, of how you make this awesome experience on a daily basis. When I walk into Chick-fil-A and I come into the store, okay, so if I'm a customer and I am walking into the store, what is the first thing that you want me to experience, maybe even before I get into the store, if I'm a customer?
Well, what does it look like on the outside?
Okay, so you're talking about the outside, the actual look of the building?
Well, let's go even further. What does the parking lot look like? What does the bushes around the parking lot look like?
Parking.
What does our signs look like? How many times you go to a gas station or something and the signs are, somebody threw a baseball through it or something.
So you have a checklist for all these things, the parking, the bushes, the signs, make sure that every day it looks sharp?
We do.
So once I get in and I'm in the door, now what about the windows, the outside the windows? The next thing I kind of,
We just work our way backwards. We go from all the way outside and work our way in. Windows, what kind of systems do we have for the windows to make sure those are being cleaned on a regular basis? Now for us, it's generally not my staff. I will pay somebody to come in and clean them on a regular basis because they're equipped for that.
Okay, so you make sure the windows are nice. Now once I come in, I've came from the outside, I've walked through the nice parking lot, I've seen the nice kept bushes, I go through the signs, I see the beautiful windows that are clean, then I come up to the front desk, then what do I see? Is somebody do you script what they should say when they meet somebody?
We do. First of all, as soon as they walk in the door, they should be greeted. Welcome to Chick-fil-A.
What am I supposed to say? What are they supposed to say? Welcome to Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, well, what we tell them is make sure you greet them, and generally it's welcome to Chick-fil-A or, how are you today? Or it's really, we give the employees the ability to kind of improvise depending on what's going on. If there happens to be snow outside and they're walking in, probably the first thing you're going to say is, "Whoo, it's cold out there," or something.
Yeah.
What we want is them to connect.
Okay, so you want a greeting is what you're looking for you guys. And then after that, I make my way over to the next phase, which is going to be to the actual ordering.
Correct.
So I'm greeted before I even order, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, then when I order, what do you want me to experience in a utopic situation?
Well, the first thing is we're going to make eye contact with them.
Okay, so you're going to make eye contact. What else?
And then we're going to smile.
Smile? You actually teach this?
We do.
Okay, smile. What's next?
We're going to speak with an enthusiastic tone.
Okay, enthusiasm, great.
And then throughout the entire transaction, our goal is to stay connected.
Okay, so we're going to make sure that we connect. Now, the next thing, let's say that the food is instantly ready because it's being prepared or something. What do you do next?
Then what we would do is, depend on the time of day or what's going on. You're saying instantly ready, so they're not having to go take it. So we would give them their food.
Okay.
Gonna give them instructions on where the condiments may be.
Okay.
Now, if they are somebody that needs assistance, we're going to encourage. If it took any length of time at all, like 30 seconds, we may say, if you'd like to go have a seat, we'll be happy to bring it out to you.
Okay.
And then at that point, we will go and get their condiments and bring them their trays.
Okay. Now, do you also, I've been there before, I've been at your place specifically where some guys come by and drop by samples. I've seen people drop by balloons for my kids. How does that happen?
Yeah, those are tools for us to stay connected with them.
Okay.
Because especially when you're dealing with a lot of team members that may be teenagers or others, they may not feel confident just walking up and striking up a conversation. So by giving them balloons, by giving them pepper grinders, by giving them free refills, it's a way for us to engage with that customer.
So refills, that's going to be balloons, that's going to be pepper. Mm-hmm. But all this is really done to continue. It's tools to connect, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, so these are the systems that really create the wow. Mm-hmm. And for a lot of business owners watching this here, if they've never scripted this out, do you have that all scripted out in a book here? Is that what you have here?
We do. We for our crew, what we do with ours is we have what we call a 2-week follow-up book.
Okay.
And what we do with that book is when somebody starts working for us for 2 weeks, we will, if they cut the mustard, in the first 2 weeks, we will sit down with them. Actually, I will sit down with them, and I'll go over what our expectations are, and we'll kind of go over these things and say, here's the tools. And we actually, in this book, we actually print out, here's the tools, here's the scenarios. Now we want you to try to figure out what would work. Like, for example, umbrellas, okay? What would you do with the umbrellas? Well, if it's raining unexpectedly, you grab an umbrella and you walk a customer to the car.
And these are things that you do at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, these are all different things. Now, we don't limit them. If they have things that they want to do, we will allow them to do that. But we're just giving them things to kind of get the creative juices flowing.
And I'm only highlighting this because I think there's a lot of people watching this who might be going, this is kind of stupid. It feels like a coloring book or something. And I'm going to tell you, the great companies I've seen, Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, Disney, this is what they do. They create these neat workbooks and things. The cynic out there says, well, why do you need a workbook? Isn't it common sense to offer an umbrella to somebody, or isn't it common sense? Well, if it's so common, why is it that almost every business in America doesn't do it? I mean, right now, if you're watching this, you know that the Chick-fil-A is something that you're excited about. I mean, unless you've got an axe to grind with Chick-fil-A, I mean, as a general rule, most people love Chick-fil-A. Mm-hmm. And most people love Disney. Most people love these companies, Starbucks. It's because they have these systems in place. Now, creating the checklist to turn your ideal into reality. In the book, The Service Profit Chain, these Harvard professors spent countless hours studying some of America's top companies, including Southwest Airlines and UPS. And this is what they wrote. Customers don't buy products or services. They buy results. Again, customers don't buy products or services, they buy results. What does that mean to you in Chick-fil-A?
Well, what that means to me is that we can have the greatest product, we can have the greatest people, but if we can't make them work together, it's not going to matter. Okay? And the result is, because of the systems we have in place, we have a great quality food. Well, if it doesn't work, then it doesn't matter. They're not going to buy it.
Now, have you, and I'm going to read this to you, I think this is huge. It's in the book, The Service Profit Chain, they go on to explain this thing they call the failure cycle. And I think you'll know what I'm talking about when I read this, the failure cycle. And they say this is what they find in most businesses today. So if you're watching this and you find this in your company, it's not that you're a bad person, it's just this is what most companies do. What Schlesinger and his colleagues called the cycle of failure is practiced by many companies today who paid their employees and managers low wages, offered them little training and other support, and suffered high turnover of employees and limited customer loyalty as a result. So poor pay, poor training, poor performance, that negative cycle.
Absolutely.
You've seen this a lot, I'm sure.
I have.
How is Chick-fil-A, I'm just going to go through them specifically. How is Chick-fil-A different in terms of the amount of training you put into the employees? If I come to work for you, how many hours of training do I get with you in the first, let's say, 30 days?
So you get there, and if you're say working out front, you probably won't even see the front. You would not be handling with a customer alone for 3 or 4 days.
Wow. Okay, so I don't even get a chance to see the customer up front for 3 or 4 days.
Well, you'd be able to see them, but your job is to shadow somebody, to work with somebody who's experienced in it, to see how the interaction takes place. If you show the wherewithal to be able to, for example, give someone a refill and smile, we're going to allow you to do that. But it's the trainer's job to make sure that you're ready.
Lee Cockerell, the Disney World, famous former executive vice president, he says don't practice on your customers.
That's right.
What you're saying is you train people before they're supposed to get out there and perform.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, also, poor pay. I don't know that Chick-fil-A pays the highest or the lowest. I don't know that. You started off at the very bottom.
Right.
What was your title?
Cashier.
Cashier.
$6 an hour.
How old were you?
I was 19 years old.
Okay. 19 years old, you're cashier.
Yes, sir.
When did you take over your own Chick-fil-A?
It was about 3 years after that I took over.
Walk me through that process.
Okay. In that situation, I had started with Chick-fil-A,
Yep.
and I was working as a cashier. And it's amazing how when you show up on time and you do the work that's asked, how a lot of times you can get promoted pretty easily.
But showing up on time, doing
Yep.
the work that's asked, you're getting promoted pretty easily.
I know, and what's amazing is how many people won't show up on time or won't do what's asked. And so, so I got promoted to a team leader, and at that point I started, thinking, well, I want to be the assistant manager. Well, I want to be the manager, and so I had to say, what are the tools that I need to be looking at in order to get there?
Yeah.
And so I looked at those, got with the owner, and we started taking those steps.
Did Chick-fil-A identify for you some kind of career path? Like, hey, if you want to own a store, here's what you have to do.
Chick-fil-A Incorporated did not,
Okay.
and mainly because it's actually easier to get into the CIA than it is Chick-fil-A.
Really?
It's pretty hard to get into Chick-fil-A. But
Why?
It's because they have about 10,000 applications to fill 60 spots a year. And so they have to look for the fastest way to tell someone no. Without being disrespectful, it's one of those that they don't want to drag you on thinking you're going to go on with Chick-fil-A when you may be more suited to be an engineer or something else. And so so that's kind of how Chick-fil-A works. So when I was interested in being an operator, I was asking all the other owners. When the owners would come into our store, I'd be like, hey, I want to be an operator. What did you do? And I was constantly, tell me about this, tell me about this. And I would hear things about different books that they were reading, and I'll go grab those books. And so I would, learn what I could here and there.
So with Chick-fil-A, you guys, you guys have set up a system where you train people well.
Yep.
People can move up and own their own store if they're there long enough, or they
Yeah, and there's other factors involved in there
Okay.
as well, but yet you can certainly work your way up to management.
It's a realistic dream.
It is.
And is the
Very.
pay pretty well if you're a manager?
Yes, it's very well. Way above the average.
Okay, way above the average. And just again, a ballpark and not so much the dollar amount. How much more is it than like the average if you're a Chick-fil-A manager?
Compared to some of the other fast food places I've had?
Yeah.
70% to 100%.
More. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Chick-fil-A corporate, you guys have some really, really great leadership up there. Mm-hmm. Are there checklists they provide to you guys as a local store owner to make sure that we ultimately don't ever get to a point where we're not delivering because it says here that customers don't buy products or services, they buy results. Is there a checklist
Yes.
they give you to make sure that you're not ever missing the mark and failing to deliver results?
Yeah, Chick-fil-A has some standard checklists for us to use. Now, being that every store is pretty much owned and operated differently, I may do something a little bit different than someone else. For example, not every store gives out balloons. Mm-hmm. So on my checklist, it's going to say, do we have the balloons we need? Do we have the helium we need? What days do we give out balloons? And so they give us some. If you were to walk in off the street, they could give you the systems to do that. But yet, if you've been there for a length of time, your systems probably don't look like they first, like what Chick-fil-A handed you years ago.
If I'm a business owner right now, and I'm, again, in America today, probably 9 out of 10 business owners don't have a checklist. If I don't have any checklists, or if I'm wanting to start a business and I don't know where to go to create a Chick-fil-A style checklist, walk me through what I should begin doing to make this checklist. Let's just say that I don't know what to do, because I know I need to keep my parking lot clean.
Yep.
I know I need to keep my bushes looking clean.
Right.
I know I need to make sure my signage works. Where do you start, Arthur, to make a checklist?
Well, just like what you said, you look at the things that you need to cover first, and you start making a list.
Okay.
Parking lot, bushes, sign, whatever it may be.
Okay, so you're just brainstorming out that list.
Absolutely. And a lot of times it'll take us 2 or 3 revisions. When I'm making a checklist for my team, I will make a list and then I'll give it to them and say, guys, punch it full of holes. And so they'll come back and go, well, this is stupid, but you forgot about this and this. And so it may take 2 or 3 revisions, probably within the first week, to really start getting it honed in.
Now, what I've heard in the world of entrepreneurship, there's a great book called The Startup Playbook. Mm-hmm. And one of the things they talk about here is that every successful entrepreneur basically does these 4 steps over and over. What they do is they define what they want to do first. That's the step 1. Then we act. So you came up with a checklist, then you act. Then you measure the results. Then you refine.
All right, JT, so hypothetically, in your mind, what is the purpose of having a business?
To get you to your goals. So it's a vehicle to get you to your destination.
Whoa. And would you need profits to get there? I mean, is when you have a business that's successful, in your mind, in your expert opinion, would you need profits to get you to your goals?
Yeah, because if you have a $15 million business, but you have $15 million of expenses, it's kind of pointless.
Holy crap!
All right, so the question I would have here for you, if you could take 10 minutes or less and see if you could save $3,000 a year by reducing your credit card fees, would you do it?
Yes, absolutely.
Holy crap!
Why would somebody out there who's listening right now who has a sane mind, why would they not go to thrivetimeshow.com/credit-card, thrivetimeshow.com/credit-card to schedule a 10-minute consultation to see if they can reduce their credit card fees by at least $3,000 a year?
Why would they not do it?
Yeah, why would they not do it?
Maybe because they didn't understand how you said the website.
This tree is a symbol of the spirit of the Griswold family Christmas.
No, that's clear. Okay, so that could be true. So I would encourage everybody to check out thrivetimeshow.com/credit-card, thrivetimeshow.com/credit-card. What would be another reason why someone would not be willing to take 10 minutes to compare rates to see if they could save $3,000 or more on credit card fees?
Maybe they think it is a waste of time and that it won't. It's not possible.
There's somebody out there that's making more than $3,000 every 10 minutes, and they're like, nah, that's not worth my time.
We getting there, right money. We getting there, right money.
There's probably someone out there that would think that.
Well, I'll just tell you, folks, if you're out there today and you're making less than $3,000 per 10 minutes, I would highly recommend that you go to thrivetimeshow.com/credit-card because you can compare rates, you can save money. And, the big goal, in my opinion, of building a business is to create time freedom and financial freedom. And in order to do that, you have to maximize your profits.
Holy crap.
Now, one way to maximize your profits is to increase your revenue. Another way to do it is to decrease your expenses.
It's a profit deal. It takes the pressure off.
JT, is there any other reason why somebody would not be willing to take 10 minutes to compare rates to see if they could save a total of $3,000 a year on average?
I am at a loss and I cannot think of any other.
Shampoo is better. I go on first and clean the hair. Conditioner is better. I leave the hair silky and smooth. Oh, really, fool? Really? Stop looking at me, Swan.
Well, let me tell you a good story here real quick here. I actually, years ago, compared rates with this company here called IPS. It's Integrated Payment Services. And I scheduled a consultation. I don't know that I was skeptical. I just thought, whatever, I'll take 10 minutes. I'll compare rates.
I can't tell.
You can tell me I'm a doctor.
No, I mean, I'm just not sure.
Or can't you take a guess?
Well, not for another 2 hours.
You can't take a guess for another 2 hours?
And in my particular case, I save over $20,000 a year.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Which is, like groceries when my wife goes to the organic stores.
Find everything you need today?
Yeah.
Great, okay.
Oh, God. No.
Everything okay, ma'am?
It's just that you've only scanned a few items and it's already $60. I'm so scared.
Okay, I'm a trained professional, ma'am. I've scanned a lot of groceries. I need you to stay with me.
It's just that my in-laws are in town and they want a charcuterie board.
This isn't gonna be easy, so I need you to be brave, all right? What's your name?
Patricia.
Trisha, all right. I need you to take a deep breath. We're about to do the cheese.
You know, that's the difference between eating organic and not organic. So because my wife eats organic, I had to take the 10 minutes needed to compare rates to save the $20,000 a year on credit card fees just for one of my companies.
One question, what's the brand name of the clock?
The brand name of the clock, Rod. Do we have it? Name of the clock. It's an elegant from Ridgeway. It's from Ridgeway.
Let's buy
the clock
and sell the fireplace.
So I encourage everybody out there, go to thrivetimeshow.com/credit-card. You schedule a free consultation, request information. A member of our team will call you. They'll schedule a free consultation. It should take you 10 minutes or less. And they're going to compare rates and see if they can't save you more than $3,000 a year off of your credit card processing.
You were hoping what?
I wouldn't owe you money at the end of the day.
No, you don't owe us money.
Because at the end of the day, the goal of a business is to create time freedom and financial freedom. In order to do that, you need to create additional profits.
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and ranking there with Google.
And also we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah. So here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months. Or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success is by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with. So.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut, and we didn't know
Oh, sorry. The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. You know, they implemented those systems. They taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive, quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline, but that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. 1 month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Crockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours where he does these tours all across the country where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building it into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy, Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or you know, navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us. This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. As you can see, it's nice, right? So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood. This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
The Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet. You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems, so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you. We go back 8 years ago. Think about the number of clients you had back then versus the number of clients you have now. As a percentage, what has been the growth over the past 8 years, do you think? We got to inspire somebody out there who just doesn't have the time to listen to their calls.
Okay, so Clay, it's like I would go up and down from about $10,000 a month up to about $40,000, but it's up and down roller coaster. And so now we've got it to where we're in excess of 100 clients.
That's awesome.
And so I would have anywhere from 5 clients to 20 clients on my own with networking, but I had no control over it. I didn't, without the systems, you're going to be victimized by your own business.
For somebody out there who struggles with math, if you, let's say that your average number of clients was 30 and you go to 100, as a percentage, what is that?
I have doubled every year since working with you. So I've doubled in clients, I've doubled in revenue every year. It's 100% growth every year I've worked with. Now, so I'm looking, we've been good friends 7-8 years, and I've got doubled 5 times.
Which is just incredible. I mean, the first time you do it, that's one thing, but when you do it repeatedly,
yeah,
I mean, that's unbelievable.
We're working our Blessed Assurance off this year to double. We're planning on doubling again. We're incorporating some new things in there to really help us do it, but we are going to double again this year. I started coaching, but it would go up and down, Clay. That's when I came to you, as I was going up and down, and I wanted to go up and up instead of up and down. And so that's when it needed a system. So creating a system is you have nailed down specific steps that you're going to take no matter how you feel, no matter the results. You lean into them and you do them regardless of what's happening. You lean into them and it will give you X number of leads. You follow up with those leads, turns into sales. Well, I tell you, it's if you don't have a script and you don't have a system, then every day is a whole new creation. You're creating a lot of energy just to figure out what are you going to do.
Right.
And the best executives, Peter Drucker is a father of modern management. He said, the most effective executives make one decision a year. What you do is you make a decision, what is your system, and then you work like the Dickens to make sure you follow that system. And so that's really what it's all about. So with a script here, we have a brand new gal that just came in working for us. She nailed down the script, and she's been nailing down appointments. Usually we try to get one appointment for every 100 calls. We make 200 to 300 calls a day per rep.
Right.
And she's been nailing down 5 and 8 appointments a day.
Somebody out there is having a hard time.
That script.
So she's making how many calls a day?
She's making between 200 and 300 calls a day.
Whoa. And our relationship is weird in that we do. If someone were to buy an Apple computer today,
yeah,
and or let's say you bought a personal computer, a PC, the computer is made by, let's say, Dell, but then the software in the computer would be Microsoft, let's say, or Adobe or whatever that is. So I basically make the systems. And you're like the computer, and I'm like the software. It's kind of how I would describe our relationship. Yeah. Tim, I want to ask you this. You and I reconnected. I think it was in the year 2000 and what was it? Maybe 2010. Is that right? 2011, maybe, or no, maybe further down the road. Maybe 2013.
2012.
Okay, so 2012, and at that time I was 5 years removed from the DJ business, and you were how many years removed from tax and accounting software?
It was about 10, 11 years.
We met, how did we re-meet? What was the first interaction? There was some interaction where you and I first connected. I just remember that somehow you and I went to Hideaway Pizza. But do you remember when we first reconnected?
Yeah, well, we had that speaking thing that...
there it was. So it was Victory Christian Center. I was speaking there.
My name is Robert Redmond. I actually first met Clay almost 3 years ago to the day. I don't know if he remembers it or not, but I wasn't working with him at the time. I asked to see him and just ask him some questions to help, direct my life, to get some mentorship. But I've been working with Clay for now just over a year. The role I play here is a business coach, business consultant. I work with different businesses, implementing best practice processes and systems that I have learned here by working with Clay. And the experience working here has, to put it real plainly, has been just life-changing. I have not only learned new things and have gained new knowledge, but I have gained a whole new mindset that I believe wherever I end up will serve me well throughout the rest of my life. Since working with Clay, I have learned so much. I mean, I would like to say almost everything about business in terms of the different categories. I haven't learned it all. but I've learned all about marketing. I've learned about advertising. I've learned about branding. I've learned how to create a sales process for organizations in any industry. I've learned how to sell. I've learned how to create repeatable systems and processes and hold people accountable. You know, how to hire people. It's almost like every aspect of a business you can learn. I have learned a lot in those different categories. And then, again, the mindset that I've gained here has been huge. You know, working here, you can't be a mediocre person. You are a call to a higher standard of excellence. And then as you're called to that standard here, you begin to see those outcomes in every area of your life. That standard of excellence that you want to implement no matter what you're involved in. I would like to describe the other people that work with Clay are people that are going somewhere with their life. Marshall in the group interview talks about how you know, the best fits for this organization are the people that are goal-oriented. So they're on their own trajectory, and we're on our own trajectory. And the best fits are those people where there can be a mutually beneficial relationship, that as we pursue our goals and we help the business pursue those goals, the business helps us pursue our goals as well. And so I'd say people that are driven, people that want to make something of their lives, people that are goal-oriented, they're focused, and they're committed to overcoming any adversity that may come their way. Clay's passion for helping business owners grow their businesses it's unique in that I don't know if there's anyone else that can be as passionate. You know, whenever a business starts working with Clay, it's almost as like Clay is running that business in the sense that he has something at stake. You know, he's just serving them. They're one of his clients, but it's as if he is actively involved in the business. Whenever they have a win, he's posting it all over his social media. He's shouting it across the room here at Thrive. You know, he's sending people encouraging messages. He can kind of be that life coach and business coach in terms of being that a motivator and that champion for people's businesses. It's again unique because there's no one else I've seen get so excited about and passionate about other people's businesses. The kind of people that wouldn't like working with Clay are people that are satisfied with mediocrity. People that want to get through life by just doing enough, by just getting by. People who are not looking to develop themselves, people who are not coachable, people who think that they know it all and they're unwilling to change. I would say those are the type of people. In short, anyone that's content with mediocrity would not like working with Clay. So if you're meeting Clay for the first time, the advice I'd give you is definitely come ready to take tons of notes. Every time Clay speaks, he it gives you a wealth of knowledge that you don't want to miss. I remember the first time that I met Clay, I literally carried a notebook with me all around. I was looking at this notebook the other day, actually. I carried a notebook with me all around, and I just took tons of notes. I filled the entire notebook in about 3 or 4 months, just from being around Clay, following him, and learning from him. And then I would say, come coachable. Be open to learning something new. Be open to challenging yourself. Be open to learning and adjusting parts about you that need to be adjusted.